It is hot. I'm turning 22. I'm getting old. 22. Okay. Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. How are you? How have you been? If this is your first time on this channel, you're so welcome. How do you do? I'm glad to see you here. Please don't go anywhere because I want you to subscribe and also turn on your notification bell before you leave, so hang around. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back to watch more videos. I'm so grateful. So this month happens to be my birth month. This year will make me 22, so at the end of this month I'll be 22. I don't know when I'm going to post this video finally, maybe before or after my birthday, but anyways, I'm turning 22 this year. And in today's video I'm going to be sharing 16 lessons that I learned at age 21 that I actually learned and actually understood. So guys, I hope you enjoy this and it's useful to you. If maybe you're younger or even older, you're able to also apply these life lessons to yourself. Number one lesson I learned: I'm not perfect. I realized that kind of somehow I've always been like the perfect person, perfect child, perfect daughter, perfect student, perfect church member, perfect choir member. I've always been like almost perfect, you know. It didn't occur to me how I was always trying my best to be perfect. Like, it was a shock to me that I could also make mistakes, that I could also get on people's nerves. Like, I don't even know how best to describe it, but it was something that I actually realized this year, that Esther, you're a human being, you're not perfect and you cannot be perfect all the time. When there are misunderstandings, you cannot always be the one that's right. You can also be wrong too. You can also hurt people. And this in a way helped me because, like, my second point, I like to forgive myself because I realized I tend to set very high standards for myself because I used to see myself as like almost perfect. So there are things I would not expect myself to do, and I wasn't giving myself like room to make mistakes. If I should make any mistake, it's like I just feel so bad. I should never be the one making mistakes. I should never be the one in the wrong. But this year I realized that I'm a human being and it's okay to make mistakes sometimes. I should give myself room to make mistakes. I should give myself room to try some things, and if they don't work out well, take the lesson from them and move on, and not sit in that guilt and sit in that like sit there feeling angry at myself and finding it difficult to forgive myself. I'm not perfect and it's okay. It's not a crime because I'm human. And secondly, to forgive myself when I sleep because I'm not perfect. And this helps me love myself more. This helped me judge myself less and even be a little less hard on myself. So like, this was really one big lesson. The third lesson I learned was to extend the same grace that I have received to other people. Now, like, realizing that I'm not perfect and I don't have to set outrageously high standards for myself helped me extend the same grace to others and realize that nobody is perfect. And the same way I can be a little less hard on myself and stop setting incredibly high standards for myself, I was able to do the same for people because I realized that I was setting very high standards for people around me, which was many times not even reasonable, because people are different and like I cannot just be here setting very high standards for people when I'm expecting them to meet it when they're not perfect and they have their own lives. They don't have to meet up to all of my standards. So realizing this, that I'm not perfect, helped me to also extend the same grace to people and stop judging and to make room for mistakes and forgive easily. Really, you can only love as much as you've been able to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, how can you love others? You cannot give what you don't have. And so being able to love myself more helped me love others more too and make room for their mistakes. This is the time to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Hit it. Point 4, I learned to understand myself a little more. Now, for people who know me, they know this is something I struggle with a lot. It's like I don't even know myself. Like I confuse myself by myself, because it was like at a point I did not know who I didn't really know who I was, the kind of things I liked, the kind of things I didn't like, the kind of things I could take from people. I was just confused. Like a lot of things about myself were not clear to me. The kind of things I wanted to do. I always wanted people to like point me in the right direction, to show me what to do or how to do things. But this year I got to understand me more. I got to understand myself a little better, know the kind of things I like, the kind of things I want to allow in my life, the kind of things I don't want, and the kind of person I want to be. So I just want to encourage you, in case you're in the boat I used to be in. Obviously I'm still on the path of self-discovery. I'm still understanding myself better every day, but it's not as bad as before. Like it's way better than before. So in case you were where I was before, calm down. Like don't pressure yourself too much. With time things get clearer. With time you get to understand yourself more, and with time it gets better. Lesson 5, I got to accept myself more. Now I was able to understand myself more and accept that this is who I am. I'm not like everybody else. I'm Esther Adeyemo. I'm different, and it's okay. And like I should follow my own path. I don't have to be someone else. In life there is only one you. So if you're trying to be like somebody else, who is going to be you? And you can never be like anybody else. You can only be like yourself. So stay true to yourself, stay true to your path, and accept who you are. Learn to work with what you have as a person. Use what you have as a person like perfectly well. Like for example, when it comes to singing, I sing a little. And I've kind of always known the kind of voice I had, and I've always accepted it. I've always like loved my voice. But this year at a point it felt like I was losing my voice, because I was trying to sound like every other person. I was trying to sound like so many other people around me, which is not, it's not bad to like admire people and try to up your skills and all of that, but don't lose yourself, don't lose your identity, don't lose your own uniqueness, don't lose yourself in the bid of trying to be better. So this year I learned to stay true to myself, embrace my voice. Like my housemates always say, we're all ordinary yet extraordinary, because we're all unique, we're all made differently, we're all the things that have formed you, all our experiences that have formed us are unique to us, and that's what makes you you. So embrace your uniqueness. So friendship is something that I have never really had. Like I've never really had really good friendships, like kind of, because, and I know the problem has always been with me, because I tend to push people away because of something that happened to me in primary school. I know it's been long, but then like for a long time this same thing has driven me, this same thing has just caged me kind of. So I've never really had very good friendships, because I don't let people get so close. I always have boundaries, and once it feels like you're crossing that boundary, I start to push away. But this year, like friendship was, or last year rather, entering into this year, last year, friendship was something I really prayed for, and God answered this prayer like in abundance. He surrounded me with a lot of beautiful and amazing people, a lot of good friends that I know will not let me go through things alone. Like they're always there, just really good friends and really amazing friends like I've never had. And good enough, these my friends were like really had really positive influences on me. But then these people had really strong personalities, like really strong personalities. These were people who were confident in themselves, who knew who they were. And so like those kind of people coming with their positive influence to like influence me in a way sets me in confusion, because at a point I started to lose myself. At a point it was like I wanted to be like this person, I wanted to be like that person, I want to do everything like they do, I want to like the kind of things they like, because it started to feel like not liking what they liked meant that I was in the wrong. But then thank God for God that like reset my brain and helped me to see that no, like yes, this person is good and they have a good influence, so you take the positive influence, but don't lose yourself in the process. don't lose yourself totally now because you're trying to be like this person. You can like something and this person doesn't like it, and it's okay. And you should accept it. You should embrace it. You don't have to be like this person to be good. You can still be good in who you are and unique. I hope you get the gist, child. I hope you get the point. Number 6, I learned to value people more. Like I said before, this year I got some really amazing friends, and this helps me. This taught me to value them more, because these people who came into my life were people who were always trying to be there for me. People who were always giving me their 100, and they wouldn't let me give them 50. When you say people are gifts, I really got to understand that this year / last year, I got to understand that, because the kind of people God surrounded me with this year were really amazing people, and I learned to value them. In this life, everybody's going through stuff. Everyone is going through one thing or the other. But some people, even despite the fact that they are going through their own stuff, still try to be there for you. And you might not even know that they are going through this thing, and you might just be thinking that your own case is the worst. But these people, if they finally get to sit down and tell you what's going on in their lives, what's going on around them, you'll just be like, okay. And really, like, they still make out the time to be there. They still make out the time to give you their 100%. The kind of people God surrounded me with this year, they were just really amazing. People who would stick with me through thick and thin, who always try to be there and not let me go through stuff alone, even while going through their own stuff. So like the fact that those people were able to do these things for me made me value them more, made me value friendships more, and made me value people in general more, and like try to be careful with where I do with people, because you never know where you meet somebody tomorrow. You never know. This helped me look out for more meaningful relationships, and make sure I like check to make sure that the relationships in my life actually count and are actually positive. And it made me crave for more of those kind of relationships. I wanted to bond more with people and make sure that my relationships and like the friendships I have in my life are making sense. They're like making sense and meaningful. So yeah, that was point 7. Lesson 8, I learned to not judge people, especially if you've never been in their shoes and acted better. If you have not been in somebody's shoes and done better, who are you to judge them? Like, because tomorrow you may be in those same shoes and do worse. You don't know, you never can tell, and you will be feeling, me, not me, I can never, until you actually get into those shoes tomorrow and you do worse. So I learned to not judge people, especially if I've not been through the same things they've been through, especially if I've not been in those shoes and acted better. And like this can only be done when you are able to see people through the eyes of love. And this is where the Holy Spirit comes in, because on our own we cannot, we cannot love the way God wants us to love. You cannot be staring at somebody's flaws and their weaknesses and not judge them, except you have the Spirit of God in you to help you see that person through his eyes of love. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself, and sometimes you have to speak victory during the test. And no matter how you feel, speak the word and you will be healed. Speak over yourself, encourage yourself in the Lord. So my next lesson was learn to encourage yourself. Sometimes you need to encourage yourself. The Bible says, and David encouraged himself in the Lord. The fact that you have friends and family and people around you encouraging you and like helping you through stuff does not mean you should just relax. There are times when you still need to encourage yourself by yourself. If not, you can never really achieve. Let me tell you, no matter how much other people encourage you, if you cannot encourage yourself, you will stay there sitting in self-pity, self-worry, and languishing, cry for yourself and feeling so bad, feeling so dejected. encourage yourself sometimes. Encourage yourself in the Lord and rise up from that place, rise up from that setback, whatever it is, like rise up from it. Have you subscribed? Subscribe and turn on your notification bell. Thank you. So my 10th point, learn to take responsibility for your actions and don't blame it on others. Don't be casting blame. Don't do something that when they ask why, you not say this person advised me, that person advised me to do it that way. You're still the one that's going to bear the consequences when they come, or the benefits if they are benefits. So whatever you're doing in this life, make your choices, cool, fine, but be ready to like face whatever comes out of it. My 11th lesson, plans don't always go the way we want. See, tomorrow is not certain, but with God you can rest assured. When you have God, you know that my tomorrow is taken care of, because you know that like no matter how things are going, even if things are not working out well, our Bible already tells us that God makes everything work out for good for those who love him and are called according to his purpose. So you know that no matter what is happening, my God who is on the throne has already made it, like he has already gone ahead to make sure that he ends well for me and make sure that everything works out well for me. And this is what keeps you going. This is what helps you to keep pushing despite the challenges and like setbacks that you might be facing. 12th point, anything is possible. Guys, the world stopped. Like, yo, the world stopped. And it's so funny because this is something I used to wish for. Some days I'm just like, I wish everything would just stop. I wish this whole world would just take a pause, because I need to breathe. I need to just rest. I need to slow down, and I just need everything to stop. And it happened. COVID came and everything paused. It was funny, but then like it just showed me that really anything is possible. Don't stop believing. Don't stop hoping. Every dream and aspiration that you have, don't stop believing in it and stop hoping for the best, because it is possible. Lesson 13. Now this one was a very deep lesson for me. I learned that selfishness does not only mean that you do not give to people, or you do not share, you don't know how to share, or you're stingy. No, selfishness is when you only think of yourself, when you always put yourself first instead of the other person, when you always make things about you. My dear, it's not all about you. Everything is not about you. No, it's hard to admit, but really, if we want to grow, if we want to make progress in life, if we want to keep being better versions of ourselves, we need to have these conversations. We need to have honest conversations where we actually sit and realize our flaws, realize our weaknesses, and actually be ready to work on them. And this was one weakness this was something I realized this year. Like, my selfishness became so glaring to me, how I tend to make things about me, how I tend to put myself first every time. And I know, like, in the end, many times how we respond to situations or to people can be based on what has happened before. So I know, like, this whole thing of me putting myself first came from things that have happened to me, like, in the past, because there are things that happen to you and you're like, never again, I'm not going to let myself be in a situation again. And you carry that decision to everybody that you meet, and you meet this person that is putting you first, but then you're still putting yourself first. You're not ready to put them first at all in any way, and then it becomes a problem because it's not balanced. So I know, like, obviously, yeah, that came from something that happened previously in my past, but there are times where you have to actually sit down and stop blaming your actions or your past. You just have to be like, okay, yeah, I know this happened, fine, but this person is different from this person, and these scenarios are not exactly the same. So to put others first, sometimes not every time you have to put yourself first, especially if this person is that kind of person who would consider you too, who would also put you first. Yeah, surely sometimes you have to be selfish, sometimes you actually have to put yourself first, but it cannot be every time. This one was a hard lesson, but we have to grow, so we have to learn. Lesson 14, I learned to see things through the eyes of other people. Sometimes don't see situations just based on your own point of view or your own side of the story. Try to be in other people's shoes. Somebody did this to you, maybe instead of getting angry at the person or just becoming very offended, just try to actually sit down and picture things from their own perspective or from any other perspective. And you might just realize that, okay, maybe the person was just having a bad day, or maybe the way I acted was what made the person respond this way. Don't just sit and just automatically get angry and feel like you're in the right. No, sometimes you can be wrong too. So before you judge situations, try to see them from like different angles, from different point of views. And this is so helpful because it helps you pick your fights. This is another lesson. Really, it's not every fight you want to get into because you become tired. Is it everybody wants to fight? Are you that fighter, Sha? Are you Mike Tyson? Are you Mike Tyson? Michael Tyson. That wants to fight everybody. You get tired. Except maybe your own calling is in fighting. You have stress, but please, I don't have that kind of stress. So when you're able to like see things through the eyes of people, it helps you pick your fights. It's not every fight you get into. Sometimes you just overlook things. I'm not saying you have to overlook things even up to the point where it's toxic. If it's a toxic relationship, please get out. Like, there's no need to overlook anything again. If you see this person is always doing the same thing, they're not even ready to change, they're not ready to make alignments. Just that's a toxic situation. I'm talking about a healthy situation. Sometimes just overlook it. And you can try to make excuses for people. This is one thing my housemate like always says. Sometimes just make excuses for them. Just overlook it, because my dear, this life is not that difficult. Don't, I beg, there's too much wahala. Don't come and be adding unnecessary words to your head. So sometimes just make excuses for the person and just let it go. But there are times where you actually need to stop. Like, it's not every battle you need to fight. There are times where you actually need to stop. For example, talking about toxic relationships. When you notice that I've been trying to fight for this friendship, I'm trying to fight for this relationship, I've been trying, it's not working, there's no improvement. Please don't kill yourself. Know when to stop fighting and know when to fight. And finally, guys, the 16th lesson I learned this year was to know who I really am. So this year, I feel like I finally got to understand myself. Like I already mentioned before, that I got to understand myself a little more. I really got to understand my identity, who I am. Yeah, I've always known who I was. I've always known my identity in Christ. But this year, I feel like I became more self-aware. And it was because of COVID. COVID messed up my brain. Like, it messed with me. Because sitting down in my house, doing nothing, having nothing to do, it just put me in my thoughts. It put me in front of my thoughts and like made me sit in silence and actually question who I am and actually try to discover myself. Like, it felt like I was going through identity crisis, but it was more like becoming more self-aware, because I did not really have identity crisis. I already knew who I was. I already knew my identity in Christ, but my self-awareness was not fully developed. Like, it was not quickened enough, I would say. And so like that period where I had to sit down in the silence with my thoughts just helped me actually dig deep and find out who I am and become more self-aware of who I am. And it has been a very beautiful journey so far. It was not all smooth. It was really painful. It was really sad. I cried many days because I was just confused. I was just in a state of dilemma, a state of confusion. I don't know if anybody else can like relate, but I really thank God like for that period, because it really helped me. And now I know who I am. Like, I know my identity in Christ. So, and I'm like getting more self-aware of myself by the day. Obviously, I'm not there yet. Life is not a destination, it's a journey. So every day I'm getting better. Every day I'm becoming more self-aware. All those lessons that I've talked about, I'm not perfect in them yet, but I'm growing and I'm getting better every day. And so like I'm really grateful, especially for the church community that I found myself in, because they really helped. Many of these lessons that I learned, many of these things that I was able to grow in this year was because of these people, because of where I found myself, because of the environment where I found myself. So I'm really grateful for them, and I'm really grateful for friends, both home and abroad, that have helped me grow better. And I'm really grateful to God for even the experiences that I faced this year, because they still help to build me up more. And so with that, guys, like I've come to the end of this video. If you watched this video up to this very moment, I'm really grateful. Like, thank you so much, and I hope that you've been able to learn something from these lessons, and you can even apply one or two or maybe all to your life. Please, if you like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up, remember to share, remember to subscribe, very important, and turn on your notification bell for future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.